Good morning. So yesterday we began to discuss the concept of Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. We increase our happiness at the beginning of Adar. We explained that the Rambam perhaps didn't hold of this concept because he omitted this together with the Shulchan Aruch. They omitted it, and we gave one explanation yesterday why this is the case, why he doesn't hold of this lahalacha. If we are to accept that this is the halacha, as is, we can say, the custom of Am Yisrael, that this is something which is copiously quoted and sung and accepted by many. And in fact, there were communities which, when from Rosh Chodesh Adar, they had in the synagogue, they would put up a sign, Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. How are we to understand this concept in a practical sense? So, the Meiri says on this that this is not to be taken literally. Meiri was from the 13th century, from the south of France, and he says this isn't to be taken literally. It doesn't mean that just like in Av, we reduce things which are simcha, and we restrict our leisure. It doesn't mean the same in Adar. All that means is in the month of Adar is that a person takes time to recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence in their life more. What does he mean by this? Because one can ask another question, and that is, there are many months of the year, many happy times, there are many festivals which we have to celebrate miracles. Why don't we say that the month of Nisan, we should be happy the month of Nisan because of the great exodus from Egypt? Why don't we say we should be happy during the month of Sukkot, of Tishrei? Why specifically Purim do we have this concept? Or Chanukah? Why do we say the month of Kislev we should be happy because of the miracle of Chanukah? Why specifically when it comes to Purim do we have this concept that the month of Adar one is happy? And so the idea is that the miracle of Purim was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as we know, the Megillah, there is no mention of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Megillah. The whole miracle of Purim came about in a very roundabout and superficially coincidental fashion. The whole thing could be construed as being a random set of events which all worked out in favor of Am Yisrael at the end of the day. That's one way of looking at it. And indeed, superficially, that's how people would see it. But as we know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's hand is behind everything in life. As Mashgiach, he supervises everything happening in this world. And the entire miracle of Purim happened under HaKadosh Baruch Hu's supervision and watch. But it's very easy in life to forget this and to go through life not seeing the Yad of Hashem, the hand of God, through everything in our life. And so, specifically, Purim is a time to remind ourselves of this concept that God is Mashgiach and He is behind everything which happens in life, and nothing happens randomly and coincidentally. And so, when a person lives their life like that, then the natural result of living one's life with this, in this fashion, is that one is imbued with a sense of simcha, because when one lives his life recognizing that things which happen to him or her in life happens for a reason, doesn't happen randomly and not, it's all a mikra, it's all coincidental and happenstance, rather it's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When one lives one's life like that, then the natural result of that is that one lives b'simcha, one lives with happiness. And so the Meiri explains that the time of Adar, the whole month of Adar, is a time when one takes time to recognize and to contemplate and to meditate on this idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is indeed behind everything which happens in life. And when one does that, naturally, Marbim B'Simcha, one increases one's happiness. And so that's another way of looking at it. Either, as we said yesterday, the Rambam doesn't hold of this lahalacha, or we do hold of it lahalacha, but not in a practical sense of doing physical things to increase the happiness. But more importantly, a whole change of outlook during the month of Adar, which is seeing HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the mundane matters of life. And with that, Marbim B'Simcha, naturally one increases their simcha. Tomorrow we'll move on to the concept of Mazal and Adar and Mazal, and if these two things go together. Have a lovely day.